I'm Jordan Hember from Travel Channel's Toy Hunter, and you're watching Comics Remixed.
Hello everybody, welcome to Comics Remixed. I'm your co-host David Sanchez, here with Junior Ruiz. What's up, y'all? Thank you for being with us. What's going on, Junior?
Not a whole lot, man. We're going to start the show off on some sad news, unfortunately. Zenescope Entertainment has a head writer by the name of Raven Gregory, who has pretty much constructed this universe from scratch. You know, he's been there since the beginning.
Yeah.
Unfortunate event last week, his ex-wife was a victim of a hit and run out in Glendale, Arizona. No leads have been found yet. So our prayers are with Raven in this time of mourning. Raven was the father of her 4 children.
All right, our condolences to their entire family.
But the show must roll on. So here we go, breaking the fourth wall. Hulk smash! All right, y'all, breaking the fourth wall time, and we've got a couple things on par for you guys today. First up, September is now known as DC Villains Month for 2013.
They're really trying here.
Mm-hmm.
They're really trying to just keep flinging crap at us.
Every September, they promise now, since that was the relaunch of the New 52 back in 2011, every September you are going to have a new event.
Yeah.
You know,
so I apologize
big.
for the way I started. I just have my immediate bias toward DC.
It's all good.
I didn't mean to cut you off, man. Just the passion.
It's okay. It's
All
okay.
right.
But so yeah, it's known as Villains Month. Most of DC's titles, like their bigger titles, Justice League of America, Justice League Dark, Aquaman, Flash, the big guys, not the little guys nobody cares about. All the Batman titles, they're actually ripping a page directly out of Marvel's playbook, and they're giving them 0.1 issues. Everybody knows that's Marvel's thing to entice new readers over. Certain books are going to have just one issue, you know, it'll be issue 23.1. Some titles, such as Aquaman, will have 2. So those will ship bi-weekly, I believe. But then you've got the bigger books like Justice League and the Batman books, who will have 4. So 1 every week. The downside to this stuff, all cover prices on these books are $3.99.
I'm all right.
Even though the $2.99s, you know, normally they're up to $3.99. But you know what you get for the $3.99?
What did I get, Junior?
Not is it just a small piece of it, but the entire cover will be 3D motion. We're bringing the 90s gimmicks back, man.
Okay, yeah, thank you for saying it, because I was going to like the gimmick.
That's what it is.
It's like you're taking gimmick over content.
But you know what? If you're going to continue to overcharge on these stupid incentive variants, order X amount of copies and get one black and white copy that you yourself have said back in the past. It's so much easier and cheaper to produce a black and white.
It's the cheapest production, yet they charge the most
exactly.
for it.
So if you're going to charge more money, wouldn't you want something gimmicky like that?
Let me tell you, the biggest gimmick here is that they're actually, and I'm not knocking it because I like this idea. I like that the villains are getting the spotlight. I have no problem with that at all, because that's actually what worked during Crisis, during 52, like pre all of this stuff that's happening now. That's what worked for them, is like all the villains, all these second tier, the third tier, how all of them just came out to do, you know, had all these crazy plans, how they worked together, and their involvement in their crazy saga. So if anything, this is something that probably should have happened in the relaunch.
Okay. That's
Part
what
of this
you mean.
whole
They
thing.
kind of waited a little bit too long.
Yeah, they did.
2 years. Now let's
Yeah, a little. They waited a little. 2 years, yeah.
You know, speaking of New 52, though, just on a side note, when is the New 52 going not to be known as the New 52? How long is something not new? How long does something go on before it's not considered new anymore?
You know, that's actually a good question, because they have been dragging it out for a while. I guess it's going to be the New 52 until they actually have an actual 52 lineup and stop canceling books.
Well, see, that's the thing. They cancel it, and then they replace it right away. So there's always 52 titles being published.
Yeah, but I see, it's like, oh my God. You as a collector, how do you feel about that?
About it being titled New 52?
Then no. Not that part, I'm sorry, but the part about the whole canceling and then restarting something else.
That shows that they have, like, it goes back to the whole editorial thing, and let's shuffle creators here and there, see what works, what doesn't fit. They didn't have a strategy going into it. That's what it is.
Now, would you say that's actually more of no strategy, a creative decision, or an executive decision who's trying to create a business model based off
That
like,
one.
look, are we really making money here?
That one, because there's been a lot of books where they know with the right artist and right writer it could be saved, but instead of giving it the chance, they're just like, all right, after the story arc, it's done.
It has to be, man. I'm going to X-Files here, conspiracy theories, because how do you go from such a great...
Are you on an X-Files
event?
kick? Because you did this last week, too.
You know what? It's because I'm on Fringe now. Actually, I'm going to go with Fringe. Just some Fringe event happened where a parallel universe ripped through the DC office, and now we have evil DC running everything.
They're called CD.
Yeah, basically.
But what Villains Month is going to do is spin off into October, where they have a new storyline called Forever Evil.
Okay.
Big whoop. It's the first official New 52 crossover within all the titles, like the big company-wide crossover, what have you. It's gonna be a 7-issue miniseries, I believe. It's gonna be written by Geoff Johns and art by David Finch, who are both working right now on Justice League of America. Forever Evil will launch in October, like I said. There's also going to be 3 5-issue miniseries that are going to be running all at the same time to accompany that. You're going to have Forever Evil: The Rogues by Brian Bucciato and Patrick Zurcher. I'm sorry if I butcher the names here. That's obviously going to star Flash's Rogue Gallery. For some reason, they get their own miniseries.
Which actually, even Flash right there, one of the last runs that I was purchasing before I decided to, tell DC to go to hell was Flash. His last storyline with he always has like a great rogue storyline, but like one of his last runs, he had one of the best ever.
How long ago was this?
Had to be about 3 years. Wouldn't it have been?
I don't know. You tell me.
It would have been about 3 years.
Which storyline are you talking about, though?
You know what? I'm gonna have to bring it up on the next episode because I am willing to go back. I am willing to go back into my collection and be like, this is when I loved DC. I went to pull those issues out and really just catalog.
You guys are making them work for it.
But going back to my other point about how this is a little too late, it makes it sound like they're also ripping off Marvel in the sense that Marvel has already come out with their darker teams and putting their villains in the spotlight. It's kind of like Marvel jumped on it before they did.
Yeah.
Maybe Marvel read 52 like, oh, this is a great idea. Let's do it before, Yeah, so.
Well, you got the Forever Evil Rogues. You have Forever Evil Arkham War, Forever Evil Arkham War. And that's by Peter Tomasi and Scott Eden. Obviously, you really don't have to tell you who that stars. Arkham villains.
Yeah.
And then you have Forever Evil Argus by Matt Kindt. And Matt Kindt is currently doing my management over at Dark Horse. So, how this storyline is going to play out is anyone's guess. It doesn't really catch my attention so much.
Argus?
Argus.
The Argus.
Rugus.
Okay.
A-R.
I have
A-R-G-U-S,
a Wayne song going through my head right now. It totally just threw me off.
But yeah, so personally as a reader, this storyline does not excite me. It's just, okay, villains take spotlight. For what? It doesn't matter.
Yeah. That's a good point.
It's a typical villain story. It's just all of them at once.
Could be marketing, trying to figure out which is the guy that.
Well, they said Lex
Luthor's
going to be one of the big players in this, but I mean,
is that necessary? Yeah, he's already a big player. Show me
for them
something
to
else.
go out there and just say it, like, oh, he's gonna be a big player. In their defense, within the New 52, he really hasn't done much. He hasn't. I don't even think he's really been around. He's pretty much been a background character.
What's he doing in the New 52? Like nothing. He's not a politician or anything like that.
He's pretty much not even been there. He's an alcoholic, but that's it.
All right. Cool.
Taking the Tony Stark route.
Yeah, that's a good spin.
So, moving on. Green Lantern. We finally say farewell to Geoff Johns, who's given us years of Green Lantern. God, what, 2000... Since Green Lantern Rebirth.
Yeah.
That was, what, 2005, 2004 or something in the runner? So, his final issue was Green Lantern issue 20, which shipped a couple weeks back. And now Green Lantern is being taken over by the new writer of Robert Venditti.
Is it his decision to step off in the comic?
Probably. You have a story to tell. Once you're done, there's no more.
Yeah.
So Robert Venditti.
I respect that. Definitely respect that.
Robert Venditti is stepping into his shoes now, taking over Green Lantern, which are some huge shoes to fill.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, I don't know how much pressure Robert is actually putting on himself, because Robert is a name I'm familiar with, but he hasn't really done much. For Top Shelf Productions, he created The Surrogates, which was made into a movie, the Bruce Willis movie.
Not a good movie,
but he's responsible for that. He's currently doing...
Damn it, you're responsible for bad.
Not for the movie. Well,
no, go ahead. Yeah.
He's currently writing X-O Manowar. The new version.
Okay, I'm sold right there because I like the new X-O Manowar stuff.
He helped relaunch the new Constantine title, or not relaunch, but he launched the Constantine title, I should say, because it was originally Hellblazer. And now, you know, and then from issue 16 through the end of the run, which really isn't a good sign, he was writing Demon Knights.
Okay.
So, but now he jumps over to Green Lantern.
I'm kind of mixed on the new Constantine stuff because I don't know if this is such a downer to mention, but you remember Comic Cabin, back old school? Remember when they went down? I picked up a bunch of Hellblazer, and I really liked that story one. That was such a great run. Maybe it was because Vertigo was what it was in those days, and the kind of freedom that writers and artists had. You know, now it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more commercial, but New Constantine, I'm not digging it. You know, it's kind of like they're trying to they're writing them ready for like a movie or some kind of a made for TV series type of thing.
See, but the whole point, we're kind of getting off subject here with what Robert writes.
We're trying to figure out where Green Lantern's going to go.
Well, but we gotta also look back at the run that Geoff Johns has given us, some of the best Green Lantern stories in fucking history. You know, Green Lantern Rebirth, The Return of Hal Jordan. They gave us the Sinestro Corps. You know, I mean, everything that happened since Rebirth is responsible because of Geoff Johns. You know,
and then for him to just let it go.
You know, he must have just been burnt out on it, or he finally told his essential Green Lantern story, and that's it. You know.
Well, then I could only hope that the guy who steps in just tries to make like new stories and not exactly pick up where he left off. Like, well, what are we gonna do with the Sinestro Coach now? You know,
right?
They got the new Guardian stuff coming out now, so I hope just for something more refreshing.
So I am looking forward to it. He did kind of pass the torch to him at a funny thing. The Corps is gone. Hal Jordan is now the head guard. He is the head of the Green Lantern Corps. You know, so it's just like he's got a lot of responsibility. So now the new writer has to come in and be like, "Damn, how do I steer this ship?"
Yeah,
you know, so that ought to be interesting. So Green Lantern 21 is also in stores. Came out 2 weeks ago. No, came out last week. So came out right after Green Lantern 20. So Green Lantern 20 shipped pretty late. So back to back. Bam.
Cool, man.
And last but not least, a lot of toys.
Toys, man.
Toys. Everybody loves toys.
Toys, man.
A lot of toys tend to get rehashed over the years, just like same thing as TV shows and movies and everything. But with the toys, there's an extra special thing there where if it's a new version of an old product, and not redesigned in any way, but just like a collector's edition, an anniversary edition, you have to just put your best game into it, you know. And one of the things that are coming around right now, 20-year anniversary of Saban's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. You know, 20 years, dude. That's a long-ass time.
Sadie just started watching it.
Yeah,
Netflix, we
Mighty
just started
Morphin,
watching it. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm glad I, at one point, stopped watching this. I'm glad that not everything's more phenomenal anymore, but now it's going to be, because Sadie asked me, like, what's more phenomenal? Like, what is that? I'm like, damn it. Yeah.
You know, it is what it is. But one of those products that has been released, I've got to show you guys this. Legacy Edition Megazord. Alright. This bad boy is a Toys R Us exclusive. It's going to run you about $75. One of the differences between this one and the original Megazord is that this one is die-cast, as opposed to the other one being completely plastic and breaking with too much play, obviously.
And it morphs.
Yeah, so
I got this back panel right here. And I'm
like, oh, see this
like, I just want to, like, push Junior over his stool, take this into the bag, and start playing.
You see, this one actually comes with all 5 individual Zords that go together and form the Megazord. You know, the sword is chrome. Paint job is totally different, somewhat. I did notice that the bottom feet, they're slimmer than the originals. I looked online as a comparison to the original Megazord figure. It's slightly smaller in scale. Not much, though.
Is it to make it seem less clunky? Yeah, I would assume so. Because even on the show, he's a very clunky character.
Yeah.
Can you imagine wearing that suit? I mean, well, the shoes. Yeah, it was very clunky.
Hey, look at those shoes, man.
I like this because it's like, how can you mess this toy up? It's not a hyper detailed design. It's very simple, and it's like, oh, let's throw some chrome on it.
Chrome makes everything nicer.
Oh yeah, I could imagine this on a shelf. If I had this, I'd probably take it to work and put it on a shelf. Have all the Zords separate. Yeah, I'd play with it.
So for you Power Ranger fans, Legacy Megazord is in stores now, or starting to trickle down in the stores. So good luck finding them. My connect at one of the stores got me this, so thank you, Jims, for that. Besides that, he was telling me that some guy went in there and bought like 3 of them right off.
Hey, because right hand. I'm sorry, okay, yeah. Let me see the front again. Did the left arm ever morph into an actual hand, or is it just like an elephant head all the time?
No, it was a hand. This was the elephant head is a shield that they hardly ever
Oh,
use.
I see. Yeah, oh, yeah, because they never use it.
Right,
I haven't seen
right.
it on the show yet.
Right. Because the
Alright.
mastodon formed the arms, like the shoulders up here.
Yeah, yeah.
He formed the middle, the torso and the head. So the head of the mastodon was usually a shield that they hardly ever used.
That is a kind of a dumb shield. It would get caught on everything.
You know who would know what episode it was used in?
Either you or John.
John.
All right.
John, do you know what episode it was used in?
God, they only used that in season 1 against Scorpina, Reign with Evil. They only used it
Shut the fuck
once.
up, John.
There you go.
No, I'm just kidding. No, that was pretty cool.
There you go.
I
John
had
knows.
no idea. Yeah, Johnny Paps coming through with some facts right there.
Yep, that's Pat Paparella's point. But also in stores besides that, if you look here, they've got the anniversary figure Red Ranger all armored version when he took the Green Ranger's power, so he became the holder of the flute and the shield.
Oh, okay.
So that's also in stores.
When did that happen?
Green Candle!
What? When did that happen?
The Green Candle episodes when I was gonna call her Lita.
Rita.
Rita lit a green candle to depower the Green Ranger. And
That's what took the guy down, a candle?
Well, it was
Like a
like
Glade candle?
it was almost burnt to the point, but he passed along the powers before it could totally burn out. Because once that candle burnt out, those powers disappear for good.
Okay.
So he passed it along to the Red Ranger, so it wouldn't do anything. So now he's not a Power Ranger.
It's okay though, he got
I really
the
don't
back.
want to know how did it come to be that a candle would take down the Green Ranger?
John, speak loud enough for people to hear you, John.
When Rita had control of
Louder.
Tommy, the Green Ranger.
When he first came out.
Yeah, when he first came
Okay.
out,
Alright.
he had a lot of excess energy, so Rita formed that into a candle. So just in case if the Green Ranger did go back to being good, this was her contingency plan to get rid of it forever.
So like most athletes at their peak, he just had too much testosterone, and he took it and put it into a candle.
Essentially, yes.
I was waiting for that one moment where I could just laugh.
My
during this
follow-up
episode.
is a lot more graphic.
Don't you just love children's television?
Yeah.
Legacy
It's
Megazord.
it's the Japanese.
Go get it.
It's Japanese, okay?
Coming up next on Comics Remixed, I'm skipping ahead, look at me. Spotlight segment where we spotlight first aid comics. So sit back, enjoy that. From there, we'll be switching directly in Movies Remixed, where I finally saw Star Trek.
Finally get to talk
I saw
about
it.
Star
So
Trek.
Movies Remixed, we're discussing Star Trek. All that and Pat Paparella's point
Star
coming
Trek,
up after
not
this.
Star Trek. Welcome to the Spotlight with Comics Remix. We're here in University Village / Greektown, right outside of First Aid Comics. Come with us. We're going to go inside and see what makes this shop so unique.
Hey guys, what's up? The store's pretty neat by the looks of it so far. Let's check out the finer details.
A big plus about this neighborhood, Jen, is how boutique-ish it is. What that usually means it's small, things are very convenient and very accessible, okay? It's not like you're walking into a hoarder's house where everything's just like thrown over the floor and you have to dig through stuff. Everything's just properly sectioned off. You know, if you're a collector, you know what you want, you know exactly where to find it. Behind me, as you can see, the gaming. Look how comfortable it is. Everybody's relaxed. People are just walking around and chilling. there's hardly any pressure to buy any pushing for buy these booster packs or you have to buy so and so comics. Everybody's chilling, having fun, and very relaxed. Another plus side, kid friendly. That's a huge plus and a big demographic that a lot of comic book shops always try to grab onto. If you look right out to the side, you see the small rack, super low to the floor. What else gives a comic book child, more independence than being able to go into the rack, his own specialized rack, pick out his own, he or she, their own comic? Very empowering for any kid.
Even if you drop it for a couple years,
and as for the gamer,
come back to it.
Yeah, it's true.
look at them. It's like they're at their own house. They're like 20 seconds away from just taking off their pants and ordering pizza.
My name is Tom Seymour. This is First Aid Comics. We're at 1142 West Taylor Street in the historic Little Italy neighborhood of Chicago, Illinois. We can be reached at 312-733-2080. It's a nice, comfy, clean family store where gamers and comic collectors can come and chat about books, chat about new releases, chat about old stuff. Always welcome to get your special orders. Always welcome to hang out and ask questions. Always welcome to leaf through something and see if it appeals. And I'll always give you my opinion. You can take it or leave it.
Tom, you're actually part of the old school of Chicago comics. You've been in, well, not the store Chicago comics, but you know,
which is a great story.
If you're a Chicago nerd and you know your comic book shops, where did you start? Can you start from there and tell us about your other experiences?
I actually, when I first started buying comics, I bought from a store in Skokie, which no longer exists, unfortunately. I grew up in the northern suburbs, and so did that. When I came to the city, I did buy most of my comics from Chicago Comics, and then started to run, when I started working at a comic book store, I obviously grabbed my books from that store. So.
And where did you work at before this?
Am I allowed to say?
Yes, you are.
Am I allowed to say? I ran a Graham Crackers in Lincoln Park for about 7 years.
Now, I don't know if you are allowed to say, because you didn't want to say last time.
I know, so now I'm all nervous.
What happened? What was with the great exodus of Graham Crackers?
Well,
if you guys don't know, just a bunch of the key important people, the staples, if you were a patron of Graham Crackers, you know these people, they just decided to leave. They opened their own shops, you got Tom right here, you got challengers, so what happened?
well, I'm sure it was different for everybody, but it's a simple thing, you know, people change and your positions in life change, and just sort of ended up having a disagreement with ownership. That's really all it was.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm not going to push it.
No, I've got to be very political about that.
Good job. That worked out really well. So can you tell us about your setup? How did you decide to set it up in this very, I call it a very personal, very boutique-ish style thing that you have going on. It's retail-y, but I think keeping it very personal, how things are very easily accessible, bring that extra boutique. And it's like, you got people just lounging here playing games. How did that decision come up?
Well, I wanted to feature the comics. I wanted those to be the main thing that took up most of the space in the store was the comics, the books, the trade paperbacks, things like that, older issues and things like that. Just wanted to make those the focus. Also wanted to focus on a lot of apparel because everybody likes t-shirts and things like that. I keep saying about that.
Hey, man.
Alright.
You're from Chicago.
I guess.
We say things like that.
I am from Chicago. Things like that. So, I wanted to make those things the focus. And then, with the gaming, for me, it was just about having an atmosphere where people could just hang out, play a game, low pressure, high level competition when it comes to Magic, like Magic the Gathering and things like that, but not too,
No shades.
not too
Where
like,
you dip your fist in the
right, and then you put the salt around the ring,
Yeah.
and, that kind of thing. None of that. Yeah, well, yeah. But yeah, just wanted to keep it friendly, keep everybody relaxed, and I got a nice group of people here.
So the other store, I know that was opened by some nurse, James Nurse, hence First Aid.
Hence First Aid Comics, ladies and gentlemen. See the connection?
Clever. So how did you end up being a part of it?
Well, James and I worked together at a previous store for a while, and so we know each other very well. And he went off and opened First Aid about 5 years ago. And he went down to Hyde Park and kind of started planting the flag on the south side there, which I thought was just genius. And I decided once, about 5 years after he opened, I decided once this opportunity arose for me to open a store, I thought James and I worked well together before, why not do it again?
Signing off, people. Thanks for watching. Welcome to Movies Remixed. This evening we're talking Star Trek Into Darkness. I'm going to moderate Junior and Johnny Paps as they give us their POVs of the movie. You guys saw it last night? There you go. Junior, before we get nasty, alright, just tell us about your experience. We don't want to be Iron Man 3 and we're just like slamming the movie the whole time.
Like my movie going experience or my experience?
Yeah, go ahead. You can talk.
No, it was totally cool.
I
didn't eat popcorn. I had nachos. They were very, very salty.
Fuck, man. What theater gave you salted nachos?
It's the streets of Woodfield, man.
Fuck you.
Stupid cheesy, or not cheesy. The cheese was good.
All right.
Cheese was
Velveeta,
nice and warm.
Thank you, Velveeta.
Very, very warm.
All right,
Movie.
movie. Shoot into it.
Yeah, shoot into it. You know what? I liked it. It's been so long since I watched the original one, though, that I can't really compare them. I'd have to go watch the original one like tonight or something to sit back and really look at it. But I thought this movie was very, very good. Very well paced. Action nonstop. I love that they took the first movie to introduce everybody. In this movie, it's just like, you know what? Let's hit the ground running. Let's go. There was a couple moments in there I just kept chuckling over to John. I was like, dude, look, it's Iron Man Spock. Like when he's in the beginning in the volcano with the suit.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, it's lava version Spock. Just giving him shit.
Actually, his suit reminded me of the reflective camouflage suit from Metal Gear Solid.
That too.
Anybody else get that?
That too. Yep.
Yeah.
The tribe at the beginning of the movie, the very first shot of them running from a distance, and all you see is yellow and white. I was like, dude, it's a clan of Yellow Rangers.
Oh.
It was just funny to us.
Yeah.
It was an inside joke.
Yeah. Inside joke. John?
I mean, the thing that just got me was the special effects.
Mm-hmm.
They got lighting good on that.
There was there was one scene in this movie particular that just caught me, and I was just like, wow, how much did that cost? Towards the end of the movie, when Khan crashes the ship into the city, I was just like, that was dope.
That was pretty
actually,
awesome.
Today is probably one of my favorite villain twists of the year so far.
Mm-hmm.
Like where you thought it was gonna end at a certain point, and then they cut scene, Khan's still alive, and he's gonna slam it. That's such a very Khan / super villain thing to happen.
I will say though, there like kind of going on what you just said. There were a couple points in the movie that I felt like it was wrapping up, but then you're just like, oh wait, there's more.
Yeah.
Okay, oh wait, no, there's more. So that caught my attention, you know.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty good.
John, what do you think about the backstory with Khan? Do you know a lot about the old school Star Trek
I
stuff?
had known a little bit. I didn't really know that like Khan was like a super being. I kind of found that was a little bit stupid.
Ricardo Montalban, not a super being? Excuse me, I'm sorry.
He doesn't know Ricardo Montalban.
Greatest superstar between 1969 and 1970? You know nothing.
That's a long.
Okay then. No, different.
Junior, did you ever watch any of the old school Star Trek movies to give a crap?
long time ago when I was a kid. Before I was mature enough to understand what science fiction was, and what I just like, hey, look, alien guys. I didn't really, you know.
How did you feel about the whole point? Like, they got the war tribe, they got the ships, they got the manpower. Let's militarize it versus no, we are a peacekeeping organization.
I like it. They didn't go too heavy into it. They kept the perfect
Yeah.
balance of both. You know, and even those times where they when they said, let's arm the ship with these missiles, they were no, we're a peace crew. And they're like, well, maybe just in case, and how they just kept that balance. That was great. I really enjoyed that.
Oh, one of my personal favorite parts, before I kind of say anything about it, which I already did, what did you guys think about the Klingons in this movie?
I was waiting for like a cameo by like the guy that played Lieutenant Worf. I was just waiting for him to show up as like a young Klingon.
That's the wrong generation then.
And somewhere down the line, I'm
Cameo. Give him
Okay,
that.
alright.
I'm pretty sure somewhere down the line, J.J. Abrams is gonna be like, oh, let's do Next Generation. What's the worst that can happen?
He wouldn't have a job. He'd be blacklisted.
And it'd be Next Generation.
Yeah.
I personally like the stylization of the makeup. and how instead of giving like this cancerous, weird warp kind of
the part of the helmet was actually part of their head.
Yeah,
so
how
it's like it like the cast, like they cast it in.
Yeah, like you could tell it's like a more of a warrior's pride.
And like every helmet was specifically made for that wearer. You know, and I'm like, hey, dude, I lost my helmet. Can I borrow yours? You know.
I thought that was an important detail where they probably looked somewhere historically into like, you know, what would old school warriors wear, and that's definitely like such a Middle Eastern, like old school Middle Eastern, something like someone from like the Lord of the Rings would have picked up off and added to their people. You know, I thought that was a fantastic detail. Any negatives?
The fact that the movie kept feeling like it was ending and then it kept going. You know, I was like, oh, okay, it reached the end. I couldn't put my finger on it, but there was just something that seemed like, maybe it just, to me, it didn't seem like it was long enough. Like, there just could have been more. Like, it just, there could have been more. Like, there should have been more.
So how's that not a positive? Because now, can't you wait for the next?
I'm going to have to.
All right.
You know?
I was just a little bit upset when, like, Kirk was dying.
That was a good scene. Me personally, I
liked it. Yeah. But it was one of those, it was perfectly pulled out from the original show where it was totally overacted. You know?
Yeah.
Because you're just like, dude, just die already. How much energy do you have left? Are you going to read him his fucking the amendments?
They're making man love through the window.
Yeah, he's all like, window love, baby.
But come on, that leading up to Berserker Spock.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Speaking of Spock, the one down point I had of this is when the name is Leonard Nimoy, when he appears on the screen and the Spock, so like, what would you do? For those that didn't see the first movie, they'll have they're totally lost. Like, wait, besides that one part of the movie, I think you didn't have to watch the first movie to enjoy this one.
That could be a small plot hole because, you know, he swore off contact with them, so that wouldn't influence the future, you know. And then all of a sudden you see him pop up, and it's going to be like, well, is he going to be the go-to each time they're in trouble now?
But then it's like, like I said, for those that didn't see the first one, they're going to be sitting there like, wait, why is this Spock talking to that Spock? And that's the original Spock. What the hell's going on?
They explained it kind of quickly, but
not in the new movie they didn't explain it.
Well, the way he introduced himself, like, I always, you know, I promise never to interfere, but for you, or whatever.
Right, but it's just like...
But I can see what you mean. I agree. I agree with that. Now, last episode I made a comment about how J.J. Abrams could handle a multi-character movie. How do you feel about that comment?
Got it. He nailed it.
Nailed it, right?
As a Star Wars man, I favor Star Wars over Star Trek. Now, as a Star Wars man, I feel comfortable giving Abrams the reins to Star Wars. I really do. I think he would do a phenomenal job, especially because that is a multi-character movie. You know, one of the best I wouldn't say Easter eggs, but one of the best things about the new Star Trek movie, RoboCop was the bad guy.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I looked over at Vinny.
He had like the evil like Enterprise ship.
Because our buddy Vinny went with us. And I was like, dude, Vinny, is that RoboCop? He's like, yup. I'm like, dude, RoboCop. Now, the chick who played his daughter, what other movies was she in? She had that face. She was so familiar.
I don't know, but she looked hot.
She was.
That whole naked scene was unnecessary, but
there was a lot of controversy over that.
It's stupid.
It was very stupid. They're like, why did you have to shoot her in her underwear? That scene was not necessary. Oh, there was supposed to be a scene, I guess, with Kirk in his underwear. Like the sex scene.
Playboy.
Oh, no, there was supposed to be a shower scene with Khan.
Something like that, and they cut it or whatever. And they're like, well, why did they cut that? And they left her in there. Like,
but if we're going to be picking, like, about these character details, one of my favorite character details of this movie, and it was also in the previous movie, was Dr. McCoy. How super campy his metaphors were, how they were so campy. Yeah. That was such like one of the best throwbacks you could ever do.
I still can't believe that's Carl Urban playing him.
That and Scotty.
Yeah, Scotty.
Yeah. Scotty was funny as hell. I love Scotty.
Yeah, when
they nailed
he gets fired.
Yeah. You know what? They nailed it all because not one character overshadowed the rest. Every major character that you grew up with pretty much had their time to shine. Sulu in the captain's chair. Come on, Harold and Kumar.
Well, that's actually that's to me that's one of the best parts. Is like we talked about this last episode too. After you watch a movie so much, you pick up on certain things. And after I watched Avengers the third time, I felt like half of the people just had busy work, and it was all about like Tony Stark and Thor, just the big three.
Right.
And this one, I didn't get that. Each one had their job. You had your certain time that was allowed by the script. You know, to make
it was
the
a
story
perfect
make
balance.
sense. Yes.
It was a perfect balance per character.
Yeah, nobody was fighting for the spotlight. The movie had a good flow.
Yeah.
Everyone got their piece of the pie.
Now,
That
Khan.
was stupid.
Yeah, it was. Sorry, man. Now, Khan, did he or did he not remind you of Keanu Reeves in The Matrix?
But with better acting.
Well, yeah, I mean, look-wise.
Like if
Look-wise.
if Keanu Reeves were a former Shakespearean actor.
Whoa. Yeah, whoa. Oh, man.
All right.
So,
Closing statements.
great movie. I would actually, when I leave here, I'm going to go pick up the first one. I still don't own the first one on Blu-ray. I'm going to go pick it up as soon as I leave here.
Nice. Great sale from part 2. John?
I loved it. It was great. Going from the first one to now, couldn't have gone better.
I got to throw in the trailers were nothing we ain't seen before.
But the trailers also didn't give you the entire movie, which is a big fault that's happening.
No, not the Star Trek trailer.
Oh,
The trailer, you know, because
yeah.
the trailers before the movie started.
They weren't memorable except for Superman.
Despicable Me 2, which looks funny.
Okay, yeah.
Superman, World War Z, and there was one more. Do you remember what it was?
We saw a preview for the internship.
That was the one, the internship.
The Google one?
Yeah. Where he's like, there's a professor, Charles Xavier. He's like, yeah, you found me out. Rogue and Jubilee are here too. And he
That's a great scene right there, man.
But
did you notice the X Mansion was in the movie?
yes,
I did not notice that.
he pointed it out. The X Mansion was in the Star Trek movie.
In the
It
beginning,
was,
when the parents or whatever, they're going to visit like their daughter. That's the X Mansion. And when you first heard Khan's voice, we both looked at each other and we were like, "It's Patrick Stewart!"
You know what though? Speaking of that, I gotta point out that was another plot hole. Did the girl live? They kind of focused on her getting her life back, and then they cut it completely.
Which girl?
The little girl that wasn't that are sick in the hospital. Remember the guy from the academy? He went and he bombed the place in exchange for Khan's blood to save his daughter.
If you got into that backstory, then it takes away from the actual story.
Right, but they just kind of showed. All they showed him was putting the blood in, and then he walked away and blew up the place, whatever. But they didn't show if she lived or anything.
She's probably gonna be.
Well, yeah, because you're already told.
Tomatoes.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
already
yeah.
kind of told, like, you know,
She's
okay.
gonna be Khan 2.0 next one.
Maybe. All right, gentlemen.
You got
Rating
anything?
system.
3.5 stars out of 4.
John,
I have to agree with him on that one.
3.5 stars out of 4, man.
as a fan of the franchise and of the new movies, I give it a 4.
Wow.
Perfect score.
Wow.
It was a great story, very well balanced out, and yeah.
You know, we gotta ask.
Even from the marketing point, like I like the fact that the movie gave me more than what the trailers did.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
But we gotta ask Carrie, who's off camera right now. Carrie,
Yes, sir.
what'd you think, man?
I thought it was great. I also liked the little hints to the original Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
How they reversed things around. I thought it was great. And then just some of the, like you guys said, the play between the characters and watching Spock get medieval.
Now, out of a 4-star, Chicago 4-star rating, what would you give it?
Give it about a 4.
Wow.
That was good.
All right.
All right.
Anything else?
No, gentlemen, thank you very much. John, you had nothing important to say, but we appreciate you being here. Oh, fuck.
Neck pinch! And just like that, the Vulcan pinch. We'll be back with Paparella's point. I don't trust you, man.
Hey guys, what's up? It's your master of the Vulcan neck pinch, Johnny Freeze, the former video game champion of Comics Remixed, now the wrestling champion of Comics Remixed. They've given me 2 minutes to do this, so I'm going to run through this pretty quick. This week's Wrestler of the Week goes to Chris Sabin, the new X Division champion. This past Sunday was Slammiversary. Chris Sabin is back from injury, and he has won it. In his match, Chris Sabin is the Edge of Ultimate X. If you don't know what Ultimate X is, just look it up. It's phenomenal. It's a ladder match without any ladders. Simple enough. He's back from injury. He actually injured himself in an Ultimate X match, so to come back from your own injury and win, I'll give you kudos for that. And not to mention, if you didn't watch last year, Austin Aries set up a new rule for TNA, which was if you're the X Division champion, you can hand in the X Division title and get a shot at the TNA World title. I would personally love to see Chris Sabin walk in and win the World Heavyweight title. It would be such a boost for his career, upscale him in the TNA ranks, and make him a contender in the PWI universe. Can't wait to see what he can do with the X Division title for now. Now to the worst wrestler of the week. The not-so-great Khali. He had a gimmick that when he first came here was great. He was just a monster that came in, beat the snot out of anybody with one hit, and walk out. You know, that's all he wanted. Now he's a stupid dancing monkey that does the kiss cam. It gets old and it's stale. I don't even get why he's still wrestling. Now, the man just had brain surgery, for Pete's sake. The man should be retired and resting. But hey, it's a job. He's got to do what he's got to do. I'm not going to hate on him. The big moment of the week. The big moment. I give credit for this. Quentin Rampage Jackson signs a contract with TNA Wrestling. I think this is TNA's kind of little jab at WWE for making it kind of, you know, their answer to Brock Lesnar for WWE. I want to see what he can do. I haven't seen any of his MMA fights. I want to see what he can do in a wrestling ring. I heard that right now they're planning on doing something with him and Kurt Angle. Something along those lines. Who knows? I want to see what Rampage can do inside of a wrestling ring, not a cage. Keep your eyes out for that. And now, my personal favorite, the moment I'm waiting for, flashback match of the week. SmackDown, September 26, 2002, Eddie Guerrero versus Edge in a no disqualification match. It was a rubber match. Edge had won at SummerSlam. Eddie Guerrero had won at Unforgiven. You have nowhere else to go. Main event SmackDown. A lot of high-impact moments, a lot of hard hits. You know, ended with Edge delivering an execution off the top of a ladder in the center of the ring, getting the 1, 2, 3. Great match. I recommend anyone see it. It was great for both Eddie and Edge's careers. It put Edge as a major power player, and for Eddie, it got him a lot of respect. It's at the end of the night, after Edge had left, and Eddie was getting up, the fans stood up and gave him a standing ovation. At the time, Eddie was a heel. You don't see a standing ovation given for a heel often, but this was one of those moments where the heel got his due. I'm a fan of both these guys, and they both deserve credit for this hellacious match that they put on. It was great, phenomenal, and for that, it's the match of the week. That's all I got for now. It's been Paparella's Point. Back to you, Junior and Sanchez.
Johnny Paps, everybody. Thanks a lot, Johnny. Always great to have you here. You mind if I call you Johnny? No? Fuck it, Johnny. All right. Junior, another great episode. It's always great working with you. Why'd you start cracking up?
Nothing, man. But yeah, it is always great working with me. I agree. More people should work with me. Work with me, people.
Not really. I used to work with him. I think our lunches were like 3 hours long.
Oh,
you become an even worse employee. But you have fun. So it's kind of like a trade-off.
I took a 24-pack of Coca-Cola to the nuts at a Jewel because of you. Remember that?
Welcome, people.
Yeah, whatever. As always, Comics Remixed. You can find us everywhere. We're social horrors. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Comics Remixed. Find us on Twitter @Comics Remixed. You can email us directly at comicsremixed@gmail.com. You can hit David up on Twitter @DavidSanchezArt, correct?
David Sanchez Art.
There you go.
DavidSanchezArt.com as well. Also, the social media hub of Comics Remix, always comicsremix.com.
Yes. Don't forget to also check out every Friday a new episode, or a new issue, of the Spinner Rack podcast brought to you by Brian Adams and myself, which accompanies the show. It's up every Friday at spinnerrack.podbean.com. It's also on iTunes for you iPod lovers and iPad guys and girls.
Also, for more of the reviews of comics and pop culture, don't forget you can find Junior or Johnny on Blogspot.
Yes, we are on Blogspot. My comic reviews are directly on Facebook exclusive only. What else do we got? You can email Brian directly at thespinnerrack@ymail.com. God, are we forgetting anything? We're on YouTube. We have Comics Remixed on the YouTube channel.
It's an open forum, so anything you want to say, you want to add, feel free. Just email us.
Yeah, man, we're all open, to fan insight, take suggestions and everything like that. If you guys ever have ideas for the show, something you want to see us spotlight, something you want to hear us talk about, let us know. Drop us a line. I mean, we're not mind readers.
Yeah, and you know, we had fun doing the footwork, filming a lot of the shops. Hopefully, we'll get to do more of that for you guys. Yeah.
So for another great episode of Comics Remixed, I'm Junior.
And I'm David.
We'll see you guys next week.
Have a good night.